Here is a look at our existing cabinets in our laundry room, which we'll be refacing. The first step was to remove all the cabinet doors and hinges. I just used my impact driver to do this. Once everything is removed, the next step was to clean and degrease the cabinets. I am using Simple Green, which will remove any excessive dirt or buildup, making sanding easier. I really focused on deep cleaning the areas where I plan to paint the cabinets, and I gave the inside a quick scrub down as well. Next, I needed to make some repairs to the cabinets. I am using a 120 grit sanding block, dry deck spackle to fill any holes or dents, and a putty knife. I started by sanding the areas where I had removed the hinges, which had a little bit of chipping paint. I made sure all the old loose paint was removed, and then using my putty knife, I applied the spackle to fill the old screw holes and dents in the face frame, smoothing the spackle out. I continue to do this on all the face frames as well as the side of the cabinet where there were some old holes and dents. Before starting the sanding, I did apply painter's tape to protect the wall that was next to the cabinets. To do the sanding, I am using my orbital sander and I am starting with 120 grit sandpaper. I hooked it up to my dust extractor vacuum to reduce the amount of dust that would be in the room. Then I put on my face mask, my safety glasses, and a hair wrap, and I started sanding down the side and the face frames of the cabinet. After sanding it down with the 120 grit sandpaper, I did switch to a 220 grit sandpaper, and I sanded down all the cabinets again, leaving them with a super smooth surface. Once sanding was done, I cleaned and prepped the cabinets for paint using TSP, which is a special solution recommended for prepping surfaces for paint. I follow the directions on the bottle, mixing it with water and wearing my protective equipment. I dipped my rag in the solution and wiped down the cabinet, turning the rag over to a clean side as I went. Now, for our new cabinet doors, we are working with Front and Center, who build engineered cabinet doors and offer refacing supplies. They offer a variety of cabinet door styles, like a modern flat to a classic shaker trim, and an array of finishes which include classic and trendy colors as well as wood finishes. They also sell other refacing supplies and accessories. What makes the engineered cabinet doors from Front and Center so special is that they use an engineered 3D laminate finish, which is 6 times thicker than paint and resistant against scratches, stains, water, dirt, and even bacteria. Simply put, their door and drawer fronts are easy to clean, durable, and will keep their color without the worry of cracks and chips. Before picking a door color, Front and Center sent us their color swatches so we could see the beautiful colors in person. We decided to go with their sage green color. We took their color swatch to Benjamin Moore and they color matched it to their advanced line of paint, which is specifically made for painting cabinets. I used a small paint tray, firm foam rollers, and a trim brush. I started by pouring a small amount of paint into the paint tray, and then I used my trim brush to paint the edges of the cabinets that met the wall and any areas hard to reach with a paint roller. Then I switched over to my foam roller to finish painting the first coat of paint onto the cabinets, and I let that dry. After waiting a full 24 hours, I used a 220 grit sanding block and I gave the painted cabinets a light sanding. You do not want to remove the first coat of paint, you are just smoothing it out. Take this time to check if any areas you repaired need any additional spackle. And after sanding, it should look like a dull haze. Next, I used a tack cloth and started wiping down all the cabinets to remove any dust that was left from the sanding block. Make sure you turn the tack cloth as you go and wipe all the areas that you sanded. Once clean, I started on the second and final coat of paint using my same method as before with the trim brush and foam roller. It is imperative that you allow this paint to dry now for 5 to 7 days to fully cure before hanging your new cabinet doors.